Joined once again by One Soccer's Christian Jack. KJ, you got a smile out of Cyle Larin when you went ahead and said, listen, what kind of confidence does it give you knowing that your head coach basically says you're going to be starting? I know we take a look now at Cyle Larin at 29 years old, all the experience that he's had in Europe, the championships he's won, playing in the Champions League, still playing in La Liga. But giving him that kind of confidence, why do you think it was important for Jesse Marsch to really say, hey, listen, you're going to be starting, and I trust you to go out there in a big game?
Well, he's an integral part of the team. You alluded to his experience, but when he's on the field, people expect the number 9 to score goals. And he's obviously done that. We were here coming into the Nations League final in Las Vegas 2 years ago, where he's coming off a run of 20 goals in his last 29 internationals. Now, it's not the same. 2 goals in his last 18. Club form a little bit patchy. But you can see in training the presence that he has, the shoulders are wider, the confidence he has talking to his teammates, because he's given a role by Jesse Marsch and his coaching staff. And he also knows that the star striker, Jonathan David, wants him on the pitch. They work so well together. They've played 30 games together now. They've combined 23 goals during that run as a tandem. And we all know in professional sports, it's not just about the individual, it's about the collective. They defend well from the front together, and that's why they get the nod again Thursday.
And to that point about defending well as a collective, when Jesse Marsch came in as the head coach of the Canadian men's national team, he said his press, the pressure, the intensity he's going to want to see his team play has to start from his strikers. So when we're watching that game against Mexico, how important is it going to be to see that work rate that Cyle Larin was talking about today? Maybe not long distance running, but that intense running in close spaces.
Very important. We go back 10 months, and when Jesse Marsch was hired, everybody expected him to bring this high intensity pressing team. But there's one thing to be a high-intensity team. It's another thing to be compact. And I think that they bring that intensity. And when speaking to defender Derek Cornelius today, I asked him that question. And it makes their job easier to know when they need to be a higher line, when the front two are working so well. I think back to Copa America, Matt, when obviously we were doing the games there. And the way that they played against Argentina in closing those spaces. And Mexico are a very technical team. They want to play out from the back in tight spaces. And that's why I think Larin and David get the nod. Now, obviously, there's going to be substitutions. And we all know that's important in this modern-day game. So we'll look for that, and we'll look to see what Jesse Marsch does.
Speaking of those substitutions, now Cyle Larin has 30 goals for Canada, and Jonathan David is the all-time leading goal scorer right now with 31. But I'm going to ask you to play Jesse Marsch for a second here, okay. KJ. We're getting late on into the game, maybe the 70th minute mark, and we know Promise David is here and Daniel Jebison are here. So if you're Jesse Marsch and you're turning to your bench and you need a goal, who are you going with?
Well, if you need a goal, then I think obviously Promise David might be at the top of that list. Now, Cyle Larin has been very good lately. He got 2 goals in MLS, and he's been the preferred option off the bench. Now, it obviously is situational analysis that you got to look at here. Are they down a goal? Do they need a goal in terms of that? In terms of getting back into the game. Jonathan Osorio has played a lot of games very well against Mexico. He leads this team in appearances against Mexico.
And Jesse Marsch did say last week that he could see Jonathan Osorio playing in the second striker role.
Would not be surprised to see that, particularly if you get a lead in this. Osorio scored away from home in the World Cup qualifying, played in the last game in February in the international friendly game as well. Now, Oluwaseyi, he obviously has got the pace. Promise David has got the form. So I think all of those options are exactly that. Squad depth, and that goes back to what Jesse Marsch said right from the start was his mandate, to continue to build up the squad depth and have the ability to know that not just 13 or 14 players now, he can look at 19 and 20 and think, I can use these.
What's that key word that you said there, KJ? Options. Canada has a lot of them in attack.